But the scares continue. Another month, but the fear proceeds to rise. This is the Venom month of horrors 2, Trapped in Time.
So why not make another one? Well, after Chucky got married, had a kid, and happily masturbated on camera and then put his sperm inside Jennifer Tilly after killing rap sensation Redman, where exactly do you go from there? Well, originally it was going to be a reboot, claiming that people wanted to see the Chucky series focus less on comedy and go back to actually being scary again. The remake was going to go ahead as a scary retelling of the original, but with new twists and turns. However, it was later changed and announced to be a sequel instead. Brad Dourif was confirmed to return as Chucky, with the doll looking like the first 2 films and not the later installments, and even his real-life daughter Fiona would play the protagonist. But unlike the past 2 films, this one was generally well received and thought to have brought the franchise back on track. Well, I don't know how you can get any worse than Chucky's son pissing all over the floor, but let's take a look at the film that supposedly saves this cursed franchise, Curse of Chucky. So we open with this mother who can't be bothered to answer the door, so she gets her disabled daughter to get it. Good start.
What are you talking about?
But the disabled girl is Nika, played by Fiona Dourif, and I'm going to hopelessly fall in love with her during the entire course of the movie. She's just perfect.
I understand.
So this guy delivers a package, but not without trying to get himself some beforehand.
So is your mom home now, or what?
Well, based on the angle earlier, you could clearly see her. So, dumb question.
Too bad. Well, see you around.
Bye. Was that guy hitting on me?
No! How can women say men don't get their hints?
You do?
And what a surprise, the package is in fact Chucky. If you're wondering how he's alive after the events of the last film, keep wondering. No. They don't even reference it. There's no acknowledgement to how he's back. He's just back. Screw it. Screw it, he's back. The other movies at least had a reason for him to be alive again. It didn't make any sense, but at least there was a reason. He's just back.
If you say so.
But oh well, her mum throws Chucky into where the franchise is right now before we cut to the next night where we hear her suddenly screaming, probably watching the last movie. Well, Nika goes to investigate. I must admit, this is a really cool shot of her reflection in the blood. And you know what, this is actually a pretty solid opening, and the title introduction is awesome! But why doesn't he kill Nika when he's got the chance? Based on what we find out later, this makes absolutely no sense.
I don't get it.
So her sister Barb, niece Alice... Okay, everyone called Alice in horror films seems to die. Can my stepdaughter not catch a break?
You sound threatened.
And brother-in-law Ian drop by with their hot nanny to stay there for an unspecified amount of time. They also have a priest with them for some reason. Never explained.
Really?
Well, basically, they're a religious family and they claim that they need to pray for their mother to be forgiven. She's dead. Isn't it too late? How do you ask to be forgiven when you're already dead? Isn't she already in heaven or hell? What? But Alice is about to be treated to Chucky, but oh no, he's vanished. Whoa!
So listen, how much is she paying you again?
$400 a week.
What? This nanny's getting $400 a week? Sign me up for that job. She has to be banging the mum for those wages.
Must be some kind of joke.
So Alice goes for a piss when she notices a moving curtain and finds Chucky, which slightly startles her, and despite promising to not lock the door, she did it anyway, but hey, kids are stupid.
Alice, open the door right now!
He scared me half to death.
Well, you're the only one who he has scared since part 1, so consider yourself lucky. So Nika starts to prepare dinner with Alice's help, but Chucky has some other ideas. They leave him alone as he poisons their food. Hey, I leave rat poison in my kitchen all the time. What's weird about that?
Thank you.
To be fair, the suspense is actually built really well here, as everyone sits at the table waiting for their inevitable demise.
Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty.
Shouldn't God have prevented Chucky from poisoning their food?
Nika, could you pass me the salt?
Please? Rude cow. The thing is, the suspense works for a while, but they keep faking out the audience. They're about to eat, and they get stopped. Someone pretends to choke, but then compliments the food. It also makes us believe that Alice has the poison bowl, but the priest struggles with it and quickly rushes out. But that's not before he thinks he recognises Chucky from the news. Thinks? How is not everyone recognising Chucky? I mean, I don't expect them to all be like, oh yes, that doll's possessed and is killing people, but we are 6 films in! All of these mass murder sprees, and it's linked to this goddamn little shithead, and none of them are like, oh, I've seen that little guy on the news with that Andy kid and Jennifer Tilly and all. No, I've never seen him before in my life. We're only 6 movies in. Wait until part 12, and maybe we'll find him vaguely familiar. And the scene drags out for 5 minutes. 5 minutes of them going to eat and stopping. Just get on with it!
Father,
No, please forgive me. I don't mean to be rude. I'll see you all in the morning at the cemetery.
Ooh, subtle foreshadowing there, guys. And then we cut to a car crash. Shocker.
What's the worst that can happen, huh?
So he lost control during driving. The cops believe he was drunk, but he's actually trapped. And now he's dead. Meanwhile, back at the house, they're all watching home videos of the past when they spot something suspicious. But oh, Chucky has vanished again. Whoa! Oh, and the phone lines have been cut, and of course every single mobile phone in the entire house has no signal. Because of course they don't. Also, do we not get any more info on their mum's death? They seem to have gotten over it pretty well so far.
You sure about that?
Meanwhile, the hot nanny searches for Chucky while Alice, the lazy bitch, does her hair. We get a few fake-out jump scares that don't really work while Chucky lingers in the background. And then another fake-out scare and... Jesus! Okay, that one was good.
Need a hand?
Who the hell walks around the house like that? And then they make out. Okay, I made the joke about the nanny banging her boss. It was a joke. It was a joke. But yeah, you know what? I'm not even surprised. I called it $400 a week. You better be giving something extra.
I am not in the mood for this.
So Nika finds Chucky next to an asleep Ian in front of a projector. He's dead. 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 Oh, okay, never mind. Damn it.
You found him.
I think she wanted you to find him.
Why is everyone in this house taking it so seriously? Okay, a little girl lost her doll. They're acting like they've lost a child. They're all going out of their way to search it. Any normal parent would be like, oh, don't worry, honey, we'll find it in the morning. No, they're treating it like it's an actual lost child. We must find Chucky, or the end of the world is nigh. Also, why didn't Chucky kill Ian when he had the chance to? It makes no sense. The only reason is literally because it was just too early in the movie.
Shut up.
Meanwhile, Nika tries to take Chucky back to Alice, but the lift breaks down because I guess he controls the electrics now? I don't know, which interrupts the lesbians.
Coming!
Oh, we would be if you left us alone. Alright, I will admit, Nika and Chucky in the darkness is done really well. It's silent except we hear a knife suddenly being wielded, then they come back on and Chucky is laughing. It is really creepy. But how late do they let their child stay up for? It's like midnight and Alice is just roaming around and they're fine, yeah, it's fine, honey, you can go to your bedtime, you know, you go to bed at your usual time of 6 a.m.
I don't know.
So we get some boring exposition about her disabled condition. It doesn't really matter. Alice is also about to go up to the attic but gets stopped and notices that Nika is actually bleeding in the leg. It turns out Chucky stabbed her but she didn't feel it, which is actually a really cool idea. But where did he get the knife from? They were in the lift. I mean, we find out later where he's hiding it, but I find it very difficult to believe that Nika held him and had him on her lap and didn't feel him when she picked him up. I'm just saying, she didn't feel it. I'm calling bullshit.
What about Chucky?
He says there is no God.
Who said that?
I love how offended she looks. It's like she's never once heard of anyone who doesn't believe in God. Oh my God. Filthy atheist blasphemy! So it's again the cliche that's been done a million times, where the kid knows that Chucky is alive, but no one else sees or believes it. The only thing this movie really does differently is the fact that throughout the entire film, Alice never realizes that Chucky is actually evil. But that's it, it's still the same shit.
You know it's not nice to curse.
So a storm brews as Alice hugs Chucky tight, and all I can help but notice is that we are 43 minutes in, and so far there has been absolutely no acknowledgement whatsoever of the past 5 films, and Chucky hasn't even come to life yet. Is it a sequel or a remake? Let me know!
No.
Anyway, she hides under a blanket with him, which is actually really creepy.
You fucking should be.
There we go!
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
So there probably is an explanation to how or why, but I honestly don't care. Nika finds out that Chucky went missing from an evidence depository. Regardless, the hot nanny strips while Chucky vanishes from the background. Oh! And this is all intercut with Nika browsing online to find all of the homicide cases from the past 5 films, which finally confirms that it's a damn sequel! This is actually a really cool scene though. She even learns about Andy from the first 3 movies who claim that the doll killed people. While she does that, Hot Nanny gets her laptop out and... who the hell sits on the edge of the bed on the laptop rather than actually in the bed? She even video calls Barb, but why would you risk that? Your husband is right next to you! Oh well, there's an amazing shot of Chucky moving behind her, which she just misses, but thinks that she sees Alice and tries to warn her. And back to Nika, who finds a photo of Charles Lee Ray as a human and recognizes him from the home video from earlier. You'd think that her parents would have mentioned the fact that they were friends with someone who went on to become a serial killer. Isn't that kind of the thing you'd bring up?
I'm so very sorry.
Chucky knocks some water over the plug sockets to mess with the electrics and kill Hot Nanny in the process. You know, is it just me, or so far these deaths have been really lackluster? I mean, he poisoned someone's food and then kicked a bucket over. Not really the dastardly murders we used to see from this little bastard.
Women can't live with them. Period.
And his one-liners suck too. Awesome. Oh, and Chucky looks terrible in this. I know he was supposed to look more like the original, but he's not scary. He looks more innocent, which I get is the point so people won't suspect he's alive. But even when he's trying to be scary and intimidating, it just doesn't work. He looks adorable. Oh, and it turns out that Ian suspected Barb and Hot Nanny for having an affair, so he hid a camera inside Chucky. He even threatens to have her taken away from her if he's proven right. I don't think that's how custody works, mate. Oh, you had an affair? Let's just take that child away from you.
I actually think it's a really nice gesture.
So with their newfound knowledge, Nika and Barb do have a slightly amusing scene where they're both talking about different things. The classic misunderstanding.
I know that this sounds nuts, but that doll, I think that there's something...
Wait a second, you know about this?
Well, I think that
You
I
know
do...
what's in this?
Do you?
But Barb doesn't listen and takes Chucky to the attic to try to find Alice. Oh, and they still have no phone signal. Where the hell are they? The Bermuda Triangle? Also, even with no signal, all phones can still reach emergencies, I'm just saying.
Really?
So Nika abandons her chair and tries to climb the stairs on her own. But why is Barb carrying Chucky around everywhere anyway? I know she doesn't want Ian seeing the tape, but why not just rip him open right now to get it? Oh look, she eventually decides to, but finds his knife instead. Again, I refuse to believe that Nika picked Chucky up and held him and didn't feel that knife, I'm just saying. And she puts it down next to Chucky because she's smart. And you know what? We're an hour in now, and I still have no idea how Chucky's back or even why these deaths are happening. I'm completely lost. Okay, they do have Barb notice Chucky's movement and peel off his face to reveal stitches and scarring from the past films, which is cool, but again, how the doll's sperm is he back? But boom, he comes to life and attacks.
You have your mother's eyes.
Oh great, let's do Harry Potter death scenes while we're at it.
And they were always too fucking close together!
God, these one-liners are terrible. Apart from Freddy, Chucky is supposed to be the king of them. Her eye even falls down the stairs for Nika to spot it. And Chucky, at 1 foot tall, somehow manages to hoist and shove her entire body down the stairs. But hey, Ian is completely oblivious to all of this racket because he plugged his ears to ignore his cheating wife earlier. Convenient. Could have just asked to join in.
What is wrong with you?
The ginger killer does appear at the top of the stairs, which looks awesome at first, but then he starts to walk and the effects look so goofy it's hilarious. But to her credit, Dourif does try to sell it. She is easily the best part of this movie. She is amazing. And she will be mine. And she apparently has random wheelchairs just lying around too in case of emergencies.
I'm gonna get you.
Why does he say it like that? It just sounds really weird.
I'm getting a speech impediment.
So Nika finally wakes Ian, who rushes out to find Hot Nanny's corpse and Alice's empty bed before they decide to rip off the Saw theme. It sounds identical! He carries her downstairs and back into a chair. Well, she begs him to stay away from the doll, but she never explains why. Okay, I know it would sound pretty crazy, you know, stay away from that doll because it's possessed by a serial killer and he's gonna get you. At least try, not just stay away from the doll. Pretty vague.
Too bad.
So Ian heads off to find Alice while the garage door slams Nika in and the car starts. She tries to break in, but he swallows the keys before Ian returns and actually accuses Nika of all of the deaths. How the hell would she kill all of these people entirely on her own? She's disabled! But she starts to hyperventilate from the stress and needs to be injected under her rib, but he's hesitant because he's an asshole. She soon wakes up tied to a chair, but he has no reason to accuse her. This makes no sense.
Maybe not.
So he's determined to prove she's guilty by playing the tape from inside Chucky, but why wouldn't Chucky just remove the tape? I don't get it. Oh well, he sees the doll actually lock Alice in a cupboard, proving her right before we see a live feed of him approaching, but it's fine, he uses Nika as a human shield. The thing is, despite the movie's problems, I actually do want these two to survive, and maybe even get together. I mean, it would be a bit weird considering he was banging her sister, but the movie did its job there. I'm rooting for them to actually survive. But hey, Chucky still has a lot more up his sleeve.
Say hi to the little woman for me.
Or you could, you know, move! Alice is now an orphan now. What the hell did she do to deserve this?
Your turn.
My turn.
These one-liners are awful! Anyway, she knocks his head off. This is also a cool shot, I know, as he gets up in the background out of focus, but it's a direct Halloween rip-off. Oh well, he decides to hijack her chair and shove her off the balcony. Jesus!
What?
Didn't your mother ever mention me? I'm an old friend of the family.
It took me 6 films before I realised, oh yeah, that family and friends I used to have, yeah, I should probably stop killing these random people I have no connection with. I should probably get back to them. I should get back on that. Right, so we get a bunch of exposition. It turns out that Chucky, when he was human and strangely looking a lot older than he did in the first movie, he was in love with her mother, so he killed her husband and tortured her. I mean, I must admit it is kind of cool to see Chucky's voice actually come out of Brad Dourif more graphically, as we've not really seen it too much before. But where's the curse? The title is very misleading. There's no curse. What the hell?
I've always had a thing for family. Especially kids.
So Chucky's a paedophile now. Fuck you, movie. Then again,
I have a date with a 6-year-old boy.
yeah, I guess he was, yeah. Oh, and if you think all of this was forced, it turns out that Chucky is also the reason that she is handicapped, as he stabbed her from the womb. They're just making all of this shit up as they go along. He even claimed that her mother betrayed him and caused his capture, so naturally he had to possess a doll. This whole series is ridiculous.
25 years. Since then, a lot of families have come and gone. The Barclays, the Kincaids, the Tillys. But Nika, your family was always my favorite.
But you've not mentioned any of these people in the first 5 films. You're now saying you plowed through every single person in the first 5 movies to get to this family. But you've not mentioned them, you've not acknowledged them. This is some bullshit rewriting crap. They are rewriting the entire franchise and pulling everything out of their arse.
And now, you're the last one standing, so to speak.
Okay, that was good.
You haven't been living. You can't call this living. You've just been on life support.
Ouch.
Time to pull the fucking plug.
So you never actually killed Andy Barclay, did you? Yeah, no, I get that. 25 years must be the slowest murder in history. I mean, what are you waiting for? A sign from God?
She's writing my review for me! So the lights come back on somehow as she climbs into the lift and begs for a fight, but a grown woman taking on a doll is as ludicrously hilarious as it sounds. Oh yeah, I'm sure one stab and he's finally dead for good. What a shock. And somehow the cops show up and break in to see Nika wielding a bloody knife with Barb's corpse, so she's arrested and sent to an asylum. You know, I'm actually invested in this character. Believe it or not, I actually am. This movie is garbage, but Fiona Dourif does such an amazing job, and the writing of her character is actually pretty decent. I have so much sympathy and support for her. I am genuinely sad to see her unfairly committed like this.
I'm alive, you son of a bitch, you hear me? I'm still alive! Still alive.
So after the court, the cop takes the evidence bag to his car. Is that really done? Before an awesome shot of the bag moving up and down, but oh, Tiffany shows up and kills him! How'd you know which car was his? And this now confirms that this is a sequel to Seed of Chucky. I mean, I thought maybe they retconned it. But no, because she turned into a human in Seed, so obviously Seed happened. So how is Chucky alive? Where's their son? There's so many unanswered questions in this shit! So she ships Chucky off or something, and Alice seems pretty okay with her entire family being murdered. He shows up and tries to possess her, and we even see that he murdered her grandmother, who cares? And after the credits, Andy, actually played by the same actor, returns to meet Chucky one final time. Which just leaves more questions unanswered. He said he wanted to kill their entire family. Well, Nika's still alive. As far as we know, Alice is still alive. We don't know what's happened to her. So why is he after Andy again? He wanted to kill this family. No, but he's after Andy. So what was the point in the first three films? Because we were told that the first three films were pointless because he was chasing Andy to get to You know, this movie sucks. It follows every cliche that this series has already used. It has a couple of nice shots and creepy moments, but the rest are just overdone. It leaves a billion questions unanswered, makes no sense as a sequel, is too unoriginal and uncreative for a remake. The acting is actually pretty good, especially from Fiona Dourif, but much like Jigsaw, I just don't understand why this movie exists. We spent so many years away from the franchise, and then they come back with the exact same film again, just without the comedy. It's entirely pointless. But, like always, the series didn't end there. At least this one did not have masturbation and pissing on the floor. Apparently Cult is worse. I'm scared.